Alright, so I actually started making a video and then realized that I had no idea what I did the second day of Vienna. So I'm like sort of starting to recollect it. So in Vienna, there's this huge area that used to be just kind of nothing. It was, I guess, like um, shelters for horses, or not shelters, but like stables for horses. And so they basically like they're like, we don't really need horses or stables anymore. So they turned this whole like plaza into a museum center. So after Richard showed it to me the night before, I was like super excited. So I went there and just completely nerded out, absolutely. So I can't remember anything I've seen in those museums. Oh no. Okay, okay. So the first museum was actually free for students, which was awesome. Um, and that one, I don't really remember what was there. But I do always write down my favorite pieces, so I'm sure I could look it up and figure it out later. But it was okay, so in this square, there's like a little courtyard, sort of, and it's like kids' museums and kids' theater shows and stuff like that, which I really like. And then if you go through that, there's the Leopold Museum, which was unfortunately closed. It's like a really, really famous museum in Austria. Um, so that was closed, but it was like there's a Gustav Klimt's exhibit, but I had just seen I don't remember where it was, but I had just seen a Klimt exhibit. Um, oh, it was Budapest, which I still haven't talked about. So I was like, I really like Klimt, but it's not. I don't need to see it. And then there was someone else who was like, um, I think he's like an actualist artist. I'm not really sure, but he's Austrian and like basically Richard told me this. I had never heard of this guy before, but um, his stuff was all very like psychedelic and very like erotic stuff from the 60s. That's like it was just really bad, basically. I mean, not bad, but like really socially unacceptable, sort of. So I guess recently the artist just like apologized for like his life. He was like, I realized that I'm like a terrible person. I'm sorry for all of this. So there's an exhibit on him, and I totally would have loved to see it, but I didn't get to it. Anyway, so there's the first museum was like right next to that, so it's like Leopold. Well, I guess it's it doesn't really matter. Leopold, and then um, it's like contemporary exhibit, and then I think the other one is like design, and I know the design one was the free one, and it had a lot of photorealism, which actually a lot of museums I've been going to lately have had, which I really like. So, like the Tate Modern also had a photorealism um, exhibit. So that was really interesting. There were a bunch of Chuck Close pieces, and then like I think his name is like George Ruff. I keep seeing his pieces all around, but I can never remember his name. But it's kind of like Chuck Close, not Chuck Close. Yeah, I think I'm getting Chuck Close and the animator for the Bugs Bunny. Oh god. Well, whatever. Anyway, so I went to that and that was really good. And there was another part of the exhibit, but I think at that point I was like in museum mode where my brain is kind of like half turned off, half like turned up so high I can't like my memory is just like gone. I'm just like in like art mode. So I don't really remember what happened past that point. um, so I walked around there for a while and then went to the Middle Museum, which was really good. There was one part with like, it was a filmmaker from the 60s, um, and it was like, it was okay. It was a few of his films, which I guess they're saying he was like the godfather of the music video. So he like started the art of music videos, sort of. So they were interesting. I wouldn't say they're great. And his paintings, I would just kind of like it's like one of those things where like if you don't like it, you really, really don't like it, and just like for me, I just get like pissed off. I just like I didn't even want to look at them. I didn't want to walk by them. Just like oh, I was so mad. But he did have this one really good piece. It's like a series that he called Angel, which is he like uh, shoots his silhouette on photographic paper, sort of. So he has this kind of like blurred, kind of like light changing um, self portrait, sort of, but it's just like silhouette. I don't know. It was really interesting, I thought. It kind of looks like weird Xerox copy of like your entire body, sort of. So that was really good. But then the other part was so good. Okay, so it was this exhibit of female pop artists. Yeah. So it was like basically like all these women are super underrated, and it's totally true. Like all their stuff I love. They were really good. There was like a nun who was part of it, which was awesome. And then I wish I could remember their names, but I also wrote down like everything from them because it was so good. And I was like, so I'm like in art, I'm absolutely a feminist. I don't know why, but I just love it. And like there's one artist who's like it's kind of obvious actually that Jeff Koons has basically stolen all of his ideas from her. It's like so blatant and people just don't know it. It's just ridiculous to me. And then also there's like one part of the exhibit that was I don't remember her name, of course, but she designed the cover of the Yellow Submarine album. Or not, it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band album cover. She designed it, but I guess everyone gave her husband all the credit for it, and he like helped a little bit, but not really. Um, anyway, so I'm being an art nerd again. Apologies, but so I went to those museums. I've ended up just kind of like in these cities. There's so many museums to see, and I like would love to go to the national galleries and stuff. But honestly, I just am not very interested. So I'd rather spend my money in like a few contemporary exhibits than see like the famous museums, which like I don't know if that's a good thing or not because I should know the famous ones as like a museum hopeful curator, but I'm more interested in the art, which I guess is better. Whatever. So I did that, and then I think I just wandered for a while. I have no idea what I did after that, but I do know at night. I think I just went by Christmas markets. Um, so after that, I ended up going to the Schönbrunn, which is the big Vienna castle, and it was pretty amazing. Actually, Jared said that it was his favorite place on this whole trip. Um, and I didn't go inside because I got there too late, I think. I mean, I didn't actually try to go inside because there was a huge Christmas market, which was pretty incredible. Um, so I did that, and then I got in a tram or a bus or a train. Train. I got on a train and went back to Brno. So that was that night. Actually, I have the cup. So okay, so what happens with punch is you get like whatever flavor you want, and then you have to put a deposit down on the cup so you can bring it back and they'll give you your money back. But most people just end up stealing it. And I didn't do that until this cup. So here's Schönbrunn as a castle. So just imagine all of this is Christmas market, and then there's a big tree right here. So it was good. So yeah, that was my first night, and then, or not my first night, that was my last night. Before going back to Brno, and then just sleeping basically for a little while, and then I went to Karlovy Vary the next day. So, that's next.